And the moral of my story is that each society has its own problems, and civilization, in my view, means the ability to work within your society with its strengths and weaknesses is in a manner that is for the general good. Is South Africa moving in that direction? Perhaps not as fast as we want, because we are impatient. But we must also remind ourselves that even in an era of perfection, there will always be those who seek to disrupt. The first coup attempt was in heaven. The first coup attempt, it didn't succeed. And the perpetrators of the coup were actually expelled, and they live with us, and they are very strong and dangerous. It's Satan and his host. And I'm using this rather melodramatically for me to demonstrate that if it could happen in the abode of perfection, how much more here? How much more here? But the truth is, be told, it can be done. And I'm saying, therefore, that in many African societies, we are now beginning to realize that capitalism in its classical sense may not be suitable. A friend of mine from Ghana, who is a traditional ruler, has written a book called African Tradition in Good Governance, the Ghanaian Paradigm, Professor Nana Kobinan-Kessie at the University of Cape Coast. And he's trying to say that African societies must now begin to understand how you deal with traditional governance systems in the face of what are current. I don't want to call them modern, but a mix of Western and current practices. How do you deal with them? South Africa has tried to deal with them with the kingdoms. Do you accommodate the kingdoms because they are valid? People respect them. You go to Ghana, you find that they are kingdoms. You go to Nigeria, you find they are kingdoms. And they fit within that arena. But the most important thing, history has demonstrated this time and time again. Many people don't want all the things that we desire. Many people are not interested in Bugatti car. No, they are not. Many people are not interested in curved television, which you of the middle class are humored by. No. Many people don't want to go on holiday to Waikiki Beach in Honolulu. No. Many people just want good food on the table, not meat on a daily basis, not vegetables on a daily basis, a balanced diet. Many people don't want mansion. Many people just need decent housing. Many people just want good roads. Many people just want some change in their pocket so that they can live decently. And I think the countries that have got it right in this regard are the Scandinavian countries. Largely, I'm not saying they are perfect, but look at Norway. Their sovereign fund, as I speak now, is $1 trillion. In other words, notionally, every Norwegian child that is born and will be born in the next 10 years, even those whose parents have not gotten married, notionally, they have in their bank account something in excess of $100,000. Even those who have not been born. That is how you use your resources. But in many African countries, even those whose parents have not been born are in debt. They are in debt. Because our current leaders borrow for this generation and generation yet to be born. So we must do something that changes that, and it can be done. I've seen in the recent, I'm giving a very long answer, but I'm giving it so that it may also kill other potential questions. If you look at a number, and you know, sometimes when you look at CNN, and you, since I came here, I've received very many phone calls. Are you safe in South Africa? So I sent for to say I'm safe and actually enjoying wine. They can't believe it, because when you listen to the media, you think South Africa is burning. It's burning. So we must, in the nature of things, also begin to tell our story as Africans. And there are things that are happening in Africa. You go to a number of African countries and they are not perfect, but you can begin to see movement. Because the oldest African nation, post-colonial nation, is just over 60 years old, Ghana. And remember, we are doing this in the midst of a system that also wants to pull Africa down. You go to countries such as Ethiopia, they have their own problem, but you can begin to see efforts in some direction to address their problems. You go to Tanzania, you will see people saying dictatorship and other things, but you can begin to see efforts. You go to a country such as Rwanda, and you can begin to see some efforts in some direction. You go to countries such as Mauritius, you can begin to see some effort. Every African country is trying to do something. There are others, of course, which have greater problems than others. But I think Africa must now begin to tell our story. I was very happy about a few months ago when West African countries met. I think it was it in Monrovia in Liberia, but one of the African countries, and they say by next year they are going to use one currency, the ECO. That is a good thing. As I speak today, Africa has 33 currencies. 33 currencies. So when I move out of here with my rand, I go to Mozambique, 120 kilometers away, Mexico. I carry my Mexico, I move another 200 kilometers, I go to Zimbabwe, which has yet to decide whether it is RTGS or the bond. But